Alright, so despite a few setbacks, moving ahead pretty well. Got a stairwell top building piece for the roof, and we've got all of our stairs in, along with the cutouts for the stairwells. That didn't go quite as precisely as I might have hoped. I cannot find my square, but whatever. We managed to do it. I'm going to do an applique door on that roof access. I did a back door on this back wall. This was originally the back wall, but I managed to forget it was the back wall and cut it up to make that house, so that was good. Anyway, that'll work. I'm going to put this on with magnets, which of course I also cannot find right now, but we'll go ahead and persevere without them, and we'll start getting this ready to paint. So we'll be right back. So to do the stairs, I used some foam core, and I just cut it to appropriate size pieces, and that's going to vary depending on the scale that you're working in. And then I just used hot glue to attach them and build up stairs. You kind of stair step them. And one of the things to remember about foam core is it's basically 5 millimeters thick, so you can use that to your benefit. I figured out that my floors were like 9 stairs high, which I believe an actual real flight of stairs is 13 steps, but this is close enough. So just glue them together. I used hot glue just because it was fast. You could PVA them, you could super glue them, whatever. But just, build yourself some stairs and then glue them in place. Alright, so we've got some texture applied. We've cleaned up the edges a little bit with some spackle. I still need to make the doors and everything for that, but essentially it's all together. The back's going to be very plain because I just don't really want to cut out 300 more windows. But we're going to put some wash and a dry brush on this and see what it looks like. I'm just applying, it's not a super strong black wash, but once it dries it'll be enough to darken that base color a little bit and kind of make the little granules pop. Well, that was the other thing. The texture that we used was more of that Vallejo ground texture. And then I primed it with gray spray primer. You could easily brush paint it too. I just happen to have it, so in the interest of speed, because I've already taken so long with this project, I'm trying to get it knocked out. Alright, so we'll keep putting some wash on there and we'll be back. Alright, so I've added some doors. I just made them out of mat board, a little bit of detailing with some plastic strip and some 1/16 hole punch pieces of paper. That one's just an applique door I added, and then the door on the back, and you can see here how I made a larger piece to glue the smaller door to and just put it in place. So they won't open or anything, they're not super fancy, but they'll get the job done. A little bit of extra detailing, kind of make the windows pop. I'm going around them with a light gray just to kind of pick them out. I don't want them to blend completely into this concrete building, and you could easily do a more contrasting color. I just picked gray because it seemed kind of basic and industrial. After the wash dried and we started to pick out the windows, then I also went back and started to dry brush this with white just to try and pick up that texture, and it seems to work pretty well. Alright, so we've got the wash and the dry brush put on. And now we're going to do a little bit of detailing on the doors, which I painted a contrasting color just to get a little visual interest. I'm going to put a little bit of wash on these just to accentuate the shadow lines. And add that. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the doorknobs while we're at it. Give those a base coating of black. And we'll let that dry. Okay, and to kind of pick that detail out a little more, I'm going to add a little gray on there. Okay, and there's some doorknobs. Okay, so the back is, like I said before, kind of plain, but once that comes off, then you've got removable floors, removable roof, plenty of space for mutants and stalkers and all kinds of folks in there. It's not a super detailed interior, but it gets the job done. Alright, so it's not the most fantastic, greatest building ever, but hopefully it'll inspire you to make your own out of leftover foam core or from scratch, from whatever. But fairly simple to put together, and it should look pretty good on the table. So thanks for watching, guys.